Hola a todos y bienvenidos a esta nueva sección de mi canal de YouTube y de mi blog willisastre.com, en donde frecuentemente os iré trayendo entrevistas con personajes que aportan un valor incalculable al mundo de la atención al cliente. En el caso de la entrevista de hoy estoy muy contenta de poder traer a mi blog a Syed Balkhi, que es el cofundador de WordPressBeginners.com y que además tiene muchísimos negocios, entre ellos, por ejemplo, un plugin de WordPress que es Opt-in Monster, y en el cual Syed nos explica en esta entrevista que le he hecho pues cómo gestiona él la atención al cliente a través de los canales sociales, cómo los integra con los multicanales, con el email y con las llamadas telefónicas. Y también nos habla de un tema muy interesante que es del proceso de reembolso y de lo importante que es dar una experiencia adecuada al final de la compra de cada usuario. Porque es verdad que muchísimas veces nos enfocamos en el proceso de compra, en dar una buena experiencia o un buen servicio al principio, y nos olvidamos muchas veces de los finales. Y los finales importan mucho porque la gente, cuando está molesta con un servicio, pues no solo se quedará molesto, sino que además va a ser que va a hablar de este mal servicio a todos nuestros usuarios. Bueno, ya sin más, os dejo con la entrevista de Syed. Espero que la disfrutéis tanto como la disfruté yo.
Nice to have you here on my blog. Thanks a lot to agreeing and being here. I'm really excited to have you. And for the first question, I just wanted to ask you, as a serial entrepreneur, starting at the age of 7, what can you tell us about your life as an entrepreneur?
My life as an entrepreneur has been pretty awesome, I would say. I've had my ups and downs, but I've learned a lot. I've gotten to meet some of the most amazing people. I was always the youngest one in the crowd. Now I'm getting a little bit older, but still, it's really awesome to meet so many people, to help so many people solve their problems. Like some of the software that I've created is now running on over 1 million different websites, right? So that's pretty cool to see how our software impacts other small businesses, seeing their problems, seeing them, grow their website using the tutorials from my website or using some of the software that we have built. It's a pretty amazing experience.
Wow, it's really great. Well, I have you here on my blog because I write about customer service, social customer service, and I recently read a really good article that I loved where you explained how to win customers' loyalty with your refund process. And you explained it a little bit as the end of the experience. So tell us a little bit about this.
So, right, often, people focus too much on their first impression. Mm-hmm. They want to make the best first impression, but they don't necessarily care about the last impression, which is often the most important as well. And it's explained by the psychology peak and memory bias, right? Imagine going to a movie and you watched the entire movie and 95% of it was amazing and the ending just sucked. So when your friend asks you, hey, how was that movie? You're like, oh, it was okay, but the ending sucked. And then your friend is not going to go see that movie. And I kind of relate the customer service experience the same way. You deliver a very awesome experience from the onboarding process up until that point. Something must have went wrong. Maybe the product just wasn't right for the customer, and they ask for a refund. Why make it a hassle, right? Because you want them to remember you in the best possible way. Because whatever product you have right now is not going to be the product you're going to have for the rest of your life. You might add new products that the customer might want to try come back and try it again. But if you don't make the ending experience really well, they're not going to give you another try. And that's why I wrote that article.
Well, I totally agree with that. And do you think that the refund process can make you also win new customers?
Definitely. Yeah, because a lot of times that we have experienced a refund, it's because the customer didn't either read our entire feature list, like, it was there, but they just didn't see it. They made a rapid decision and they didn't purchase. But like, if we make that experience really hard for them, they're not going to recommend us.
Yeah, of course.
Even when, customers who have requested a refund have written back to us and say, oh my God, this was the most awesome experience. I will recommend your service to other people because your service is not the best for us right now, but it's good for some of the other people. And we have gotten a lot of customers from those customers who have requested a refund. But also, we have won some of the customers back. Some of the customers, we gave them such awesome support. They went and they tried out our competitors and they came back and said, you know what, I'm coming back to you because your product is just as good as everybody else, but your customer support is top notch. So it is very, very important. And you also have to remember that like the most vocal customers that you have are often the unhappy ones, right?
Of course.
This is why when you go on TripAdvisor or Yelp, you will see the more negative reviews of a hotel or a restaurant than the positive ones. And I'm sure there are a lot of positive experiences. People love going there, they eat a lot, but not all customers that are happy leave reviews. But an unhappy customer is definitely going to leave a review, and turning an unhappy customer into a happy customer can work wonders for your brand.
Yeah, that is really good. So, do you think that how does a digital customer reach and talk to your brand? Do they ask for social customer service? Do they do more mail, chat? How do they reach out to you?
I mean, it really depends on the customer preference, right? Now, when social has grown so much with Twitter and Facebook all around, often customers do tweet at us because they want an expedited response, right? But even when they email us, right, their support ticket, the moment they send the email, they send a Twitter message saying, hey, I just sent your support ticket. And you need to have somebody that respond to them, like, hey, okay, we got it, and we're actually looking into your support ticket. And that's very, very important. So, like, what we do is, like, we have a proper support channel where we handle all the support. And if a customer reaches out to us through social media, it's often very hard to provide support over 140 characters. So you should acknowledge the customer and say, okay, let's discuss this through our support channel in private. Maybe you can follow them and direct message them your personal email, your company email, so they can email you directly. But like, it's never good to go back and forth with the customer in social, because if they're really unhappy, it looks kind of bad on your brand. But if you just acknowledge it and say, okay, we're looking into it, I've sent you a private email, it tends to look that, okay, yes, these people are paying attention, but at the same time, like, it doesn't hurt your brand necessarily.
So this is how you manage all the multi-channel approach with your customers. You said you use a support
support desk. Yeah, so
support desk. Which one
we use what's called Help Scout for our help desk system, but then we use Hootsuite to manage all of our social stuff. And the biggest challenge there is that you have to keep everyone up to date. Everybody is dealing with support, because maybe Aaron might be working with one customer, but Aaron doesn't do social media and Kevin does social media. So Kevin and Aaron have to be on the same page about helping each other, like, helping that customer. So one of the neat feature about Help Scout is that they give you the ability to add notes. And Kevin can easily look in and see where the status is. He can monitor the whole conversation that Aaron is having with the customer, and then, like, a lot of times the same customer complain on Twitter, Facebook, support, and everywhere they can find, because they want attention right away. So it's very important that you have the right person there. So the way we went about solving this is we have an entry-level support managed by a specific staff member, right? And we call him the customer happiness engineer. I
love that name.
So he monitors all social media, but he's also responsible for assigning the ticket to the right person, so the customer gets the right help. So whether that is through it's a marketing question, if it's a technical support question, it goes to the right person. If it's a billing question, it goes to the right person. But having a human being sitting there assigning those tickets and then responding to the customer as that's happening helps out a lot in customer service.
So this is how do you train and how do you challenge your customer support team to meet and create, like, the excellent customer experience?
So one, we acknowledge all the awesome tasks. If somebody does a really great job, I will acknowledge that in our team chat. So we use Hall for our company chat. So everybody's in the chat room, and if somebody delivers a really amazing experience, like I would say, oh, like congratulations to this person because they did such an amazing job. But another thing that we do is we measure our customer response time. So in Help Scout, it tells us what was their initial response time and how long did it take for that particular issue to be resolved. And our goal is to always, reduce our initial response time to as less as we can, and then bring down our average response time for a support ticket to be much lower in terms of satisfaction. And as we set internal goals and try to beat them every month. And we have created a lot of different workflows to make things easy, right? So if it's a billing question, there's a workflow that automatically gets triggered. If it's a bug reporting, it's a technical workflow that automatically gets triggered, assigned to the right person. We have a lot of documentation that, based on customer questions, we write those documentation, because if one customer is having that issue, maybe someone else will have that same issue, and we can point them to the right resource. And even our customer service staff, if it's somebody new and they're not very familiar with our product, they can use that documentation to easily answer questions. I mean, obviously we have a training period where we train them about our product, the onboarding process and all that. But even with a week of training, somebody's not going to become an expert in your product in 1 week.
Of course.
So that's why you need to have these written documentation, a manual that they can kind of look at as well. And obviously all of our support techs, we make them use our own product, so they're just as familiar with it.
And for the last question, do you think have you ever experienced increasing your innovation with the feedback of your customers?
Of course, all the time. Customer feedback is very important for us, right? So a lot of times our customers use our products in ways that we would have never thought that they would be using it. And so then they experience problems that we would have never thought that anybody would experience. So we take our customer feedback and then we implement it as new ideas into our product. For example, Opt-in Monster, when we first launched Opt-in Monster, which is a lead generation plugin, we only have like 2 fields in it, name and email, because that's very generic. You need a name and email and done. Somebody said, well, I want to use your entire technology, but not for email powers. We want to use it for our buy now buttons. And we're like, oh, okay. And then we took that feedback and then we tweaked our product and added that separate module for an extra price. So, it helped our business model from customer point of view. And we have improved so many different user interface issues, new features, a lot from user suggestions.
Wow, thanks a lot. This is really excellent stuff. And well, thank you for agreeing for being here in this interview. I really loved spending some time with you and talking. And good luck with all your new products and new features. And congratulations for your great post. I really loved it. And it's true that here in Spain, customer service is social customer service is starting to implement a lot less than in the US. But I'm sure this video will help a lot of people in the way.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.